Hey guys, I'm host Sway, and in this video, I'm talking about the goals for 2026. I'm not really going to give advice on how to set your own goals. I'm just going to kind of talk about how I did mine, and hopefully that's the advice in it. Um, I watched Fonzian's recent video on how to set goals, or I guess him talking about how he set his goals, and I kind of based my framework whenever I was making my goals this year. And I guess the key takeaways from that was I split up into three categories as he did, into physical, mental, emotional. And the idea behind a lot of these was goals that are scary and uncomfortable and that seem really daunting, yet in the back of my mind I know that with hard work I can get them done as he stated it. So I guess to start off, we'll start off with the physical right ahead. Um, I said build up habits that promote physical health and well being. Um, I'm on a weight loss journey right now. I started a couple months ago, and I want to keep that momentum going into 2026. And I know, as for me and the person I want to be, I need to build habits around that. I know my life is, or my life has been kind of chaotic in a way where, uh, you know, I never had that stability, I guess. And I think prioritizing my physical well being, you know, being mindful of what I eat, going to the gym, doing all that, I need it. I need it. Because when I have structure, when I have consistency, I have it in all areas of my life. And if I can have that one thing that keeps me moving, then I'll be golden. So building upon habits like that. And then number two was create things that I'm proud of. When I was looking at my 2026, I wanted to, run a business, start a business, but I don't know jack shit about any of that. Now, I could have easily just written down start a business, run a business, but that's too broad. What does that mean, start a business? Okay, so I make the business, but then I don't do anything? No. Or vice versa, run a business. Okay, I could run a business and it do fucking like shit. Yeah, I get that experience, but anyways, the reason why I say create things I'm proud of. If I can create things I'm proud of, that in theory could be that business, could be me running that thing, but when I limit myself to run a business, it leaves it too much. And I'm someone who likes to rush into things, someone who likes to do things all over the place. But I need that, I can't just be like, run a business. Well, I don't know how to run a business. What does running a business look like? I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal. And we're going to get there. I will also say when I'm writing my goals, I also did it into kind of like generalizations and then actual like time frame goals that I'd like to do. Starting off, finishing this cut at 170. I'm currently 186. When I started my weight loss, I was at 210. And then another one was, I mean, I don't know anything about running, but I know a 5K is maybe about 3 miles. I want a 7 minute mile pace. I genuinely think the fastest mile I've ever had was maybe 10 minutes. I was a fat kid in elementary school. I didn't play sports in high school. Cardio is definitely not my strong suit. I don't know. Is 5K 7 minute mile really easy? I don't know. I'll find out. I just got to get at it. And then in terms of content goals, I'll be honest, I don't like to think of the stuff I put out as, I didn't want to say, I want to go viral. I want 1 million followers. I want this. I want that. No, when I think about content creation, I think about the impact I want to have on people. And I think about the type of content I want to put out is just stuff that expresses me. And I want to reach people in a way that can impact them, whether it's to encourage them or to promote, something good that has helped me. And I don't mean promote like adverts, like an ad or something. I mean like if I found some like crazy workout that really helped me, let that be known. I want to be, I want to help people. I want to be of service. I want to, spread information that can help others. So when I think of like, my content goals, it's not necessarily like I want 1 million followers, I want 100,000 followers, 10,000, none of that. It's the way I laid it out was I set a range of, I guess I'll say impact, which could be used as like another word for views, but I like to think of it as an impact because if one person sees something, that's crazy. Can you imagine? Like, I like to think of it as like if I'm in a room and I'm presenting to 30 people, that's a pretty decent amount of people. I mean, I do it in class, I do it, you know, for projects, whatever, right? So I like to think of it as impacts. I don't like to think of it as views. I don't like to think of it as, a viral TikTok. But I laid it out in, a 5K impact, 10K impact, 25, 50, 100, 250, 500, 750, 1 million. And the way I laid it out on my uh, New Year's resolution was just as a check mark box. I'm going to be working towards it. I want to push myself to make content. I want to push myself to improve my speech, the way I talk to people, the way, I digest information and, spew it back out there. I want to work on it and I want to make a real impact in whatever way that is truly. I'm not saying I want to be some, you know, revered like saint, like oh this guy's the role model, but I just want to be able to give my 2 cents and hopefully it reaches someone that it can help. And that's truly all I want. So that's where we're at for the physical. For the mental, I said go to more things and talk to more people. Um, I struggle a lot with going out. I guess pushing myself to try new things, talking to new people. I'm very shy in that regard, and I think if I can just push myself to just kind of get out there, spread my wings a little bit, you know, and just meet people, I think that's just something that can help my mental in a very good way. Because even though I don't really like talking, I guess, with people, I know I'm very sociable in that regard, and I know it's good for me. I just tend to have these habits of like self isolation where I feel like I need to be all alone. I need to be, you know, thugging it out like all by myself, no, I'm my only friend. But it's like that can't be the case. We're sociable creatures, we're human. We're gonna, crave interaction. This one was from Alex Hermosi and it was the start saying no. And that's just in a way of like, saying no to the parties, saying no to the drugs, the alcohol, saying no to maybe like the things that might not be the best for me, or I don't even want to say waste of time, but maybe those things that was just like, did I really need to do that right now when I had this to do? And it's not like I'm gonna just shoot everyone down. No, but it's having like that humility to be like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. Why would I do that? No. Um, this one I stole from Fonz straight up. It was be more decisive, and then to elaborate on that, I said show more follow through and integrity. Basically, just if I say I'm gonna do something, I need to make sure that I'm doing it. And then if I don't get it done the same day, that I get it done the next. Because I think what I struggle a lot with is that I talk a big talk, but I don't show a lot of work for it. Kind of how I'm doing right now, fucking new year, new me. But these are all things I believe I can build to. And then that kind of all wraps up around to slow down to speed up, taking it slow, getting it done, and then moving forward. And then the goals on the checklist is I want to do a solo trip to somewhere I've never been. So travel is on the bookmarks for 2026. And I want to make sure that I have fun with it. And this one I also stole from Fonz as well. Very, very original, But I like what he said about it. It was something along the lines of, it teaches him to, love himself, love the world, and And I think for me, it's like a nice little escape, kind of. But I can also gain that appreciation of the other things around me. Kind of like in Goodwill Hunting. Fuck, I don't remember the professor. I don't remember the professor's name, but he was talking about it. The you look through. You only know the things you read and the things you see in books and online, and it's just like, but you never really know because you haven't gone out. I also said find a spot. I just want to find a spot where I can feel comfortable to do whatever work I need to do, whether it's college work, whether it's, content creation, whether it's, an email or something I have to do, just something or somewhere where I can go and just kind of, I guess, focus. Find that spot of focus for sure. Emotional, I put learn to love myself better, be more patient with myself and others. I definitely think in the past few years, I've definitely struggled with that first part, learning to love myself, learning to be present in the moment and be happy. I think that's something that we can all, maybe relate to where we struggle with. And the reason I don't really have goals for the emotional one, I do have one, but I'll get into it. But it was kind of hard coming up with these because I feel like with emotional goals, it's like they're things that you never accomplish. It's always evolving, it's always changing. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't predict it, but you can prepare for it. You can have those things in place to help you be more present in the moment. And I think learning to love myself better works perfect for me because I have things I should be happy for. I have things I should love. I have people who love me. I have, you know, a roof over my head, at the bare minimum. I have parents who love me. But it's just sometimes always been hard for me to realize that. And truthfully, it doesn't come from, the things that have been said or done to me, but just because me, self-sabotage me. So learning to love myself better. Be patient with myself and others. I think we can get in our heads a lot of the time thinking we're better than people, worse than other people, but at the end of the day, it's just we're all people, right? And like I kind of the thought I had earlier was like, well, I have so much patience with my parents, we can sometimes get on each other's nerves, when I was younger, we'd argue, say, not so nice things to each other. Um but I had this thought where it was like, well, if this is someone who's like really close to me, this is someone who's known me my whole life, and I can forgive them, then maybe I can also forgive and be patient and try to be understanding of the other people around me, no matter how long I've known them. That kind of wraps it up. I put make 4 friends, but I really think it's just a matter of just making friends, making connection, seeking connection, being okay with connection, being okay with letting people in, showing yourself to people. And I think that's like one of the most important things I can do right now. So those are my goals for 2026. My goal is to rip this out of the page, put it in my wallet, keep it around, give me something to look at, and check off as the year goes by. So I just wanted to share this with y'all today. I hope you get something out of it. I can't promise that I will be consistent on YouTube, on TikTok, anything like that. But if you enjoyed this, let me know. Let me know. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, but if you enjoyed it, just let me know. And if you didn't like it, tell me how I can be better. Thank you. Peace.